today I want to talk about, well, we'll talk about it. So today I want to talk about the invisible influence of energy, power, and power struggles. I know that just sounds like a bunch of keywords, like trending topic words, but no, I really want to talk about the invisible influence of energy, power, and power struggles. I'm not a new believer in this kind of stuff, but if I were, the effect that binaural beats and like solfeggio frequencies, detoxing using sage, crystals, rituals, intentional consumptions, like intentional consumption, exercise, artistic expressions, pretty much any alternative healing modality you can think of, the effects that those things have on any subject that's facing a power struggle or an energetic imbalance, that would make me a believer, just seeing the effects that it has. Like witnessing changes, that's what helps create actions in the brain that help create the reality that the seeker or the seer set out to see, which naturally is what turned them into a witness. So simultaneously making them Anyways, this process of witnessing a change and the brain making the connections that help to create that reality for the seeker / the seer, that also makes them a creator or a creatrix, because they're basically creating their reality by understanding things. So, and then it's like, funnily enough, symbiotically, some of the rituals that I use in my daily life are also stress relief techniques. And funnily enough, those are also detox methods, which also play into a lot of the things that I consume intentionally, naturally connecting itself to the relevance of alternative healing modalities. All of this personal data can be utilized in creating and setting personal goals and actualizing those goals. And like, honestly, this really just seems like a random word salad yap session, but actually this is a prequel to my mini story time that I wanted to tell. It's about this job that I had. I worked there for 3 months and I was fired right after the holidays, like the day after New Year's. Yeah. So the official reason they gave, I could just insert the letter like right here or something, like up here. I can figure that out with the editing, but basically their official reason was that I didn't have a positive vibe and the managers just couldn't work with me and I was argumentative. So even though that was a complete lie, it was a complete lie. It really bothers me. It doesn't bother me anymore because this was like last week, but it bothered me last week a lot because it was a complete bogus reason. I had an almost perfect streak with my customer service and feedback, which is supposed to be a top priority because this was a sales position, right? It was at a grocery store and I was a barista and the girl that puts the groceries in the bags and the cashier, but still sales position, because at the end of the day you're upselling to the customers that come in, and your customer service is what encourages them to feel comfortable spending their money. And I was acing that. I ace that in every position I ever get because it's a part of my personality. And I know this because that's why they hired me, because it's the same thing I told them when they hired me. Anyways, so I had customers tell managers about their great experiences with me, and only once did a manager actually come up and share that information with me. And it was because the manager saw another coworker who heard tell me. I think that's why they told me. So anyways, where was I? So even though I'm acing this entry-level position, which is like not really a big deal because yeah, it's an entry-level position. Like, I mean, just a grocery bagging cashier barista girly. So it's not that serious. But with that being said, I was still coming home at the end of my shifts, like either on the verge of tears and running towards the nearest pacifier, which is not a good thing, or I was already in tears, or I was just finishing my tears. And that's crazy because it was definitely not my job's description that had me like in this rain cloud. It was certain coworkers or managers, just like the way they would interact with me. And sometimes I would vent about this to my mom when she would pick me up, but sometimes I wouldn't, and I would just sit silently in the whole car ride home because I didn't want to bring that negative energy from work to my personal life, because at the end of the day, like, I was just there to get my check. So even though I was having all these heavy emotions after interacting with these low vibrations, I tried to keep it to myself for the most part. Like, I vented to my mom a little bit, but really I didn't want to drag the drama around, so I would keep it to myself. And shout out to mom, she would pick me up and drop me off every day, and like, she would listen to my vents sometimes, and shout out mom. But yeah, sometimes I would just sit in silence and just be trying to process like what was actually wrong with these people and why they just didn't seem to like me no matter what I did. But you know, this wasn't my first time with these type of soul-sucking entities, like, which is a sad thing, because every time I'd encounter people and energies and vibes like this, I would just hope it was either bad luck or bad karma, and that this would be the last time. And another really awful thing that I just want to point out about my experience working with these people was that I experienced bullying and microaggressions that I would gossip about with the other employees, and they would validate my feelings because they also experienced these things. And mind you, these employees that I would gossip to about this, they were only the foreign employees, like the ones who came from another country. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, it was just weird. Like, I'll give an example of some of the microaggressions and just like the verbal abuse too, because I experienced verbal abuse as well. And mind you, I never made any complaints about these, but anyways, so there would be like multiple occasions where this one manager would ask me to do a task that was usually meant for two people, because prior to her asking me, like when I was training, mind you, I've only been there for 3 months. So the first month I was training, so they were a little bit nicer to me. Second month, I guess they got too comfortable with me being around, and then they started to like slide in these little things here and there. And then by the third month, that's when they were full on bullying me. Like hazing me. Not bullying straight up, but they were hazing me. Like, they wanted me to leave on my own accord. So yeah, that manager would send me to do certain tasks that were meant for two people. They were always done with two people, except that time she sent me. And like, for example, it would be a labor extensive task. So like putting up the bar chairs in the upstairs dining area. It's a large enough dining area that two people should put it up. Like, they're heavy chairs. And only giving me 15 minutes to do it. Very rude, very wrong. Or like when I would be doing simple tasks such as putting sticker labels on a product and zipping up a Ziploc bag, she would come by, same manager, she would come by and she would be like, "What are you doing?" and grab the item out of my hand. Like, guys, be so for real. In reality, in real life, outside of your job where you need that money to keep your bills paid or keep your babies fed, whatever. I have a cat, so I gotta keep my baby fed. But outside of those interactions, like if it were school or if it were just like at the club and somebody did that to you, wouldn't a fight break out of some sort? Yeah. So I just always had to swallow those moments of like microaggressions and just like disrespect. Oh, another one. Okay, so I'll just give a very specific example. One time, she had asked for a stack of plates. That's all she said. She said, "Where are the plates?" And I said, "I'll go get them." Just volunteered myself because I was always trying to make myself like useful and helpful. Another thing that I'm very salty, or I've let it go, guys. But something I was really salty about was that I would always overextend myself to try and make myself the helpful new girl and just like to be overall agreeable and have that good energy. And it just never paid off. Like, it was never appreciated. So yeah, back to the plates. I was like, I'll get them. So I get the plates and I put them where the plates go. She comes back sometime later. She goes, "Where are the plates I asked for?" I'm like, "They're over there." She's like, "Why are they here? I asked for them." And I'm like, I didn't respond. There's a lot of times where she would do stuff like that and I just wouldn't respond because I'm like, you're gonna have to figure that one out on your own. I'm not giving this any more of my energy. So yeah, I just didn't respond. But she snatches the plates. She's like, "I needed those. Like, I asked for plates and you put them there? How smart is that?" Not saying it directly to me, mind you, but she's saying it like at me. So, you know, I just don't think those are appropriate behaviors for leadership, for management to engage in. And, you know, it made me feel bad. Like, I'm not made of stone. I'm not some strong person. Like, I'm a very sensitive person. And my emotions are very much at the forefront of my experience on Earth. And yeah, those little things would always hurt me and I would try to brush them off. I would go take a little break. Yeah, boy. And just try and brush it off. But yeah, those were like the kinds of experiences that I had while working at this place. And I would always suck it up and just move on because I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't care. I just want my money. Like, I can forget about this. I only work Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So it wasn't too much of my time. So I always felt underappreciated and they would refuse to acknowledge any praise the customers would give me or share about me. And that isn't even my first time experiencing that at a job either. So like, I'm recognizing these patterns of like this poor leadership and like these evil ways, I guess you could say.
To add another thing to this, I just want to talk about this one weird, also microaggression. So it's winter now. I start working there September. We're in December now. It's getting cold. Some of the cash stations are at the front of the store where the front door is. So it would open and close in the wind and you get really cold, and our uniform was a t-shirt. So everyone else, I'm the new girl, but everyone else would show me, like, if you're cold, just go put on a sweater. And I got a sweater, a black one, kind of like this, but it didn't have open shoulders. It was a full crew neck, black. I had tiny little rhinestone cluster here. So I'm wearing that. Mind you, there are like other employees wearing just different color sweaters, but I'm wearing a black sweater, and our uniform is black. This lady comes up to me. I'm leaving the front station because I was stationed there for a couple of hours, and then I had to move on over to the bakery. So I'm walking over to the bakery. She stops me and says, "What are you wearing?" I'm like, "A sweater." Remember, I was at the front. And she says nothing. And it's like, these moments, I don't know what I'm supposed to make of them. There's nothing else I can make of them other than this is a rude person that doesn't like me. And they're mad that I'm wearing a cute sweater. Like, they wanted me to freeze. So anyways, moving on.
Me brushing all that stuff off. And by the way, guys, I just want to say, don't ever brush off these things. Learn from my mistake. File your complaints because they don't give a shit about you anyways. If you file your complaints, at least there will be a record of the abuse. I'm probably not gonna have an easy time proving this if I want to take any like legal actions against them, which I do. More on that later if I follow through with it. But yeah, so always file your complaints, guys, because after they covered their holiday business projections, they discarded me and my perfectionist work ethic like a used J-cloth. Yeah, seriously. The day after New Year's, they fired me. I came in for my shift, they pulled me aside, and they said, "We're done with you." So anyways, all of that story time, just to wrap it all up, I was feeling hurt. I was internalizing their rejection. You know, I was like thinking to myself, I did everything right, so why don't they want me? Like, And this was just a bad cycle to get into, especially right at the beginning of the year. You know, you want to set your intentions and your goals for an upward projection, and then bam, an event hits you and you're on a downward spiral. But you don't have to be. And that's the whole point of this story. You don't have to be on a downward spiral. Okay? So I was feeling really drained and defeated, and the year just started. So what do I need to do to get my energy back? And I already did step 1, which was noticing where your energy is being stolen from. Deep down, I already knew as well, but like I said, in this current job market, I'm guilty. I didn't want to spend any more time looking for a job. I just took the first one that I could get, and that was that. I didn't want to spend any more time. I didn't care what the job was. I just wanted to do it and get my money, and that's it. So I noticed what was dragging my energy down. I noticed all the things that were making me feel bad. You know, like I mentioned, the feelings of just like internalizing the rejection and just equating their rejection to my self-worth. I was taking the time to notice all these things and just even like journal about it is step 1. You're already on the way to getting your energy back, because noticing is the first step. Step 2 is tapping in to your infinite resource. Your infinite resource is whatever it is that animates our bodies while we're alive. The energy source. It's invisible. So we're talking about the invisible influence of power and energy. That's an invisible energy source. But you know it's there, because when it's not there, you're dead. So you know it's there. No matter what religion you are, no matter what your beliefs are, nobody can deny the fact that there is an energy source that's animating our existence. So tap into that. How do we tap into that? By noticing things, by journaling. And another really good tool that we have at our disposal for just like aligning our energy, and aligning our energy helps us think clear. Thinking clearly is also how you can like tap into your energy. So one thing that helps clear your thoughts, get you out of the rumination stage of, oh, I'm not good enough, or like, why did this happen to me? What did I do? To get out of that, you can practice a very simple exercise, which is thinking about all the things you're grateful for. You can think about them, you can say them out loud, you can say them to your pet, you could write them in your journal. You could do all of the above, which I recommend, which I do. So, and just like to touch on that infinite resource, energy resource thing again, that is something you can add to your gratitude list, because me, myself, I know I'm really grateful for the energy source and just having access and awareness of it. So, yeah, sorry guys, I'm a little bit distracted here, but I have to make this video today. So, thinking about gratitude, it does make you present, and being present brings so much alignment to your presence. And when you're present, 9.9 times out of 10, you can't experience imbalance or despair, because unless you're in the middle of an active war zone or like equivalent, your present moment is most likely a calm, safe, peaceful moment. You just have to tap in and like look around you. You're not in that fight or flight, that moment prior that threw your energy off, put you in. You're not in that moment anymore. So you're safe now. You can think about your gratitude. Your gratitude makes you present. Your presence makes your presence aligned. And alignment is where you need to be to go where you want to go. So, more on that. Communication, it goes... Wait, I'm sorry guys. I'm reading this talking about perspective and how it helps. Like, perspective almost always does the trick. So now you can think even more clearly about the other tools at your disposal for healing that energy imbalance that you felt when you encountered the energetic clash, attack, or siphon. And communication goes so much further beyond speech and text, and even beyond symbols. So with that being said, I'm gonna share some things you can do for more alignment. Like take out your sage, your Palo Santo, and a candle. Light your candle. Light your sage or your Palo Santo with your candle. Okay? Watch the flame. Think of all the things that have hurt you and all the things that have sparked a passion in you and all the things that have lit up a passion for your life in you. And then think of the things that hurt you again. And if your body tells you to cry, cry. If your body tells you to sob, sob. Okay. And then as you're crying or sobbing or whatever, I want you to imagine those feelings that make you cry leaving you through your tears and your exhales. Okay? And then when you're done, blow out your candle. Done. And just like that, I guarantee you will feel better. Ask your body. You can also snuff out your candle if you don't want to blow it out. Follow your intuition. And if you want to incorporate crystals into that little ritual that I just mentioned, I would recommend like black tourmaline, black kyanite, hematite, onyx, or like a quartz and an angel stone too. I'm running behind schedule. Yeah, so the crystals basically will amplify the effects of this energy balancing modality. Post-ritual, I recommend stretching, maybe some light Pilates or yoga, a detox tea like a green tea or a peppermint tea, or like a specific detox tea of your choice, and a detox bath. If you don't have a bathtub, don't have a bathtub, a large basin with some salt in it will do. You can soak your feet, that'll still be a detox bath for your feet. A reflexology session is a good idea. You can DIY this or you can book it. Just work with what you have. Like everybody, there's something for everyone, no matter where on the spectrum you fall in the socioeconomic world. And then this is where the binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies that I was talking about earlier can also come into play, because you can choose the frequency based on your target ailment. So like if you're having a headache or a migraine or your throat's hurting or your heart's hurting, you can look at specific frequencies for healing that specific ailment, and you can select that and just have that playing in the background while you have a nap or while you're doing a relaxing task such as drawing or interpretive dancing or journaling or even setting your personal goals. Not only will this simple outline aid anyone with stress relief and management, regardless of the situation that they're facing, but it will also get your energy back into alignment with you, where it's supposed to be. Okay, sorry guys, I just want to read that one more time.
Simple outline aid anyone with stress relief and management, regardless of the situation they're facing, but it will also get your energy back in alignment with you, the real you, where it belongs. Is that what I wrote? Yeah, as opposed
to being siphoned through a tainted connection of imbalanced power energy dynamic. Because the more you ruminate over a disturbing interaction, the more the source of that interaction gains energy, or energy points you could call them, from you. So yes, after going through these simple suggestions, you will feel closer to yourself again. These are the things I did and it worked. Let's talk about the perspective aspect of this again really quick, because if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have time or energy really, because I was always drained after work. But I wouldn't have time or energy to honor the first goal that I set for myself of 2026, which is to actually go ahead and start making content for my YouTube, because I made my YouTube channel last year and I did nothing with it. It just sat there collecting virtual dust. So now I have time and space internally and just like mental bandwidth and capacity to honor my goals, and I have so many more exciting personal goals to achieve and share, which I can actually see myself doing now. Like I can see how I would have remained stagnant and distracted from these extremely important things to me if I was constantly in a cycle of going to work, all excited about the possibilities, the endless possibilities, who I'm gonna meet, what's gonna happen, only for my dreams to come crashing down every single day at work because the vibes could not be matched. They were not able to match my optimism. They were bothered by my positivity. They must not have liked that I came just ready to go. Like, I was always happy when I got to work, even if I was sad prior to walking through the doors. I always turned on that happy face because I believe that every stranger that I interacted with deserved the happy version of me. They don't know what's going on in my life. I don't know what's going on in their life. And that was my motto. That's something I live by. I always decided that everybody gets the equal treatment, the equal happy me, unless, they do something. But I never had any bad customers, just one, but not even worth mentioning. So perspective really changes things, because when I first got the news that I was being fired or I was being rejected, I just felt really crappy about myself. I wasn't even directing those negative feelings where they belonged, which is where they came from. Those negative feelings were for those people. They weren't for me. I didn't do anything. I shouldn't have been down on myself, and I shouldn't have been judging myself for their reaction to me. Now, mind you, if I had actually done something to deserve being fired, I wouldn't even make this video. So keep that in mind. So if I was constantly in a cycle of going to work, excited for new endless possibilities, only to come home crushed by the sad realities of the projection of the haters I was in forced proximity with in exchange for petty cash, I would not have energy to pursue my actual goals and dreams. So now you and I can prep for the first new moon of the year, which is coming up on the 18th. And we'll do that in the next video. This is the first video, but we'll do that in the next video. And that one will be new moon do's and don'ts, just gratitude checks, what candles and incense to get, where you can get them, setting your intentions, journal prompts, how to smudge and cleanse your crystals in your rooms, ritual ideas and tips. That'll be for the next video. I'm really glad that I made this video today. I'm gonna look at all the footage and hopefully it's really cute and good, because if this is a flop, I don't know when I'm gonna have to record it again. I'll probably try to record it again right after this if it's still a flop, but hopefully it's not a flop. And I'm really excited to go on this journey with me, but also with you, the viewers, whoever you are. I'm excited to meet you. And this is perfect too. I think it's about time for me to cut the middleman. Every time I have a job, I have these wonderful experiences with customers, or clients or whoever, the people who run the business, essentially, not the owners, the people who keep the business running, the paying clientele. Me and them always have a good relationship. They always have something to teach me and I always have something to teach them. And I always get presents from people too. So just wonderful experiences, wonderful interactions. And then there's always something salty in the middle, and not in a good way, which is management or somebody in a leadership role that somehow is bothered by me not being bothered by being beneath them in terms of roles. Because this is something I've experienced in other jobs as well, whether it's at a grocery store, at a restaurant, at a bar, at a nightclub. It's kind of the same dynamic everywhere. There's just crappy people anywhere you go. So I think this is a great opportunity for me to cut the middleman and just talk to the people in the world. Now, technically you're not paying clienteles because this is for YouTube and YouTube is free, but I think that with your viewership and your support, I can actually support myself financially through YouTube, because I know I can get sponsorships for my videos if people actually like watching them. I can influence you guys to buy really cool stuff that I like, because I'm a very conscious consumer, so I can put you on to some really good stuff. And just sharing all the things that I've learned in my short but long life and sharing it with you guys, because I know what it feels like to feel kind of confused and just not know where to go, or not know who to turn to, or not know who to talk to, or not have anyone to talk to. And I would always turn to YouTube. I have my comfort videos on here too. You guys will probably hear about those at some point. But now it's time for me to put myself out there, and maybe I can be somebody's comfort video, and I can teach you something about yourself and teach you something about me, and we can learn stuff about each other and just make this world a better place, and just cancel these shitty managers that just really try to like suck the soul from you. Because I'm telling you guys, if I didn't have these tools and like if I didn't know about the things that I know about to help balance these situations, I don't know where I would be right now. But it's scary to think about, or not scary, but it's sad to think about, because then it makes me think about all the people that I've seen in these kinds of positions. Like, I don't know, think the homeless people, think the addicts or homeless or displaced or unhoused. You know, I want to be sensitive about that. But think about those people that are on the fringes of society. I know how they got there, and it's not a good feeling. So hopefully this is going to be my contribution to like life on earth and just making it a better place. And yeah, I'm glad you guys are here with me, whoever you are. If you are the first viewer, that would be kind of cute if you made a comment and said first, like you will be the first viewer of the first video ever and the first commenter. But yeah, I'm a little behind schedule because this filming session was supposed to be between 12:45 to 2:15, but it's almost 3:15 now, and I'm late for lunch. Like I missed lunch. I have some inversions to practice. I can do videos about that later on if you guys want to see it or learn about that. And then I have reading time. I'm reading a really cool book about feng shui, so I could talk about that later as well in a different video. But yeah, I'll just wrap this up for now, and then like look at what I need to edit and see if it's gonna work out. Hopefully I look cute in this
Video too. Oh my gosh, I'm very concerned. I hope the angle's good. I hope the lighting's good.
And I hope to see you in the next video about new moon do's and don'ts, because the new moon is coming up on the 18th and we are going to be prepared, and we're going to try some new moon rituals.